Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Token Games Podcast. I'm your host and sometimes referee, and here comes an old new short, kinda, not really that much challenger, Riot EXE.
Hey guys.
And of course, he's joined by his assist attack, a 1 Lieutenant 1/8 and a third Officer Cops.
Hey, how you doing?
And to round out his tag team combo, he's initiated the level 3 of a 1 Dre Mayfield. Okay, you know what? I'm not even gonna wait for the Bardock DLC to come out. I'm gonna get Broly, the guy who Vegeta shit himself over and took him out in one shot with a choke slam, which you can do in the game, and I'm gonna just beat you to death with Broly. Just for that bullshit. First topic. The average video game scenario and story writer is not someone with a degree in writing, be it Master, PhD, BAS, BFA, and everything in between A to Z. Could this possibly be the reason for the writing stagnation? And if so, how can it be fixed, officer?
Well, I believe in a number of cases with various. Excuse me, sir. Stretching. In a number of cases, yeah, that they are not someone who has some degree in it. And I suppose things would improve, at least for the games that specifically need a good story. Things would improve if they got people who knew what they were doing. Had degrees. So.
Okay. What about you, Riot?
Well, when it comes to story writing in video games, one of the big focuses is like the kind of game you're making and how much the lore actually matters to the general gameplay. And you gotta find the people that are best suited for that. But when you take something like fighting games, it doesn't matter. We take something like an RPG, you have to have not only like story writers, but scenario writers, people that can translate the events of the storyline into proper, gameplay events so that they make sense while you're actually playing the game, whether it be like solving a puzzle or in a battle, is it a battle you're supposed to lose, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Items. There's so much that goes into it that it's difficult to find somebody that can really understand how that works, or find a team who understands how that works.
Okay. Alright, what about you, Dre?
Quick question. Couldn't it be just common knowledge of the writers to do, accurate and concrete research on the storylines?
Oh, fuck no. That requires effort and time. You know how the video game loves to not have that.
But
They should, but nah. Doesn't always happen.
Okay, but if there's anything that we know about, I would say Final Fantasy franchise, they don't seem to have a lot of repetitive storylines. It always seems like one game is connected to the other, and then we find out, it seems like it's the same storyline all over again. I mean, look at God of War. Now, don't get me wrong, the new one seems to be have a original storyline. But if there's anything that we know, anything about Ascension,
Didn't it come out this week?
Yeah. Oh no, it comes out on April 20th.
Gotcha.
Basically, with Ascension, it seemed like there was no dialogue, there was no plot, there was no direction or proper direction into what the main character was supposed to do. And if that was the case, then basically God of War 3 should have been like the end all be all. And then the reboot of God of War. Not this let's just bring a game out and try to make more money out of it. Oh, we don't care about the storyline. No one cares about the storyline. But if there's anything that we know, even if it's a fighting game, if the storyline makes absolutely no sense, we're going to, us as gamers and consumers, we're going to show little to no interest in the game if the storyline is just complete garbage.
Well, that's an interesting feeling. So, with that being said,
more research. I'm sorry, just more research.
No, I was going to ask you anyway. How do you think it can be fixed?
Jeez,
more research.
More research. Common knowledge. What makes sense? What doesn't make sense? And proofread it. Can people just proofread the storyline? I mean, yeah, sure. It might take a few.
The word you're looking for is script supervisor. I used to have a job like that. Their job is to not so much check for plot holes, it's a bonus, but also, to make sure shit is making sense, basically.
And it doesn't even take, it might not even take hours. It might take days. It
don't even take a master's degree. We still get fucking plot holes out the ass.
But I'm just saying, the time consuming is not even time consuming. You probably won't even take no more than 2 days just to proofread everything, correct everything. That's my take on it.
Fair enough. I guess as for me, I feel like, as with anything, when it comes to entertainment, there's always room for improvement. Perfection is an illusion. Absolution is an illusion. Things rise, things fall. People gain interest, people lose interest. But in the case of video game writing, I feel like it is a necessity. But it's a necessity due to the fact of how much money is going into everything from the game being produced, distributed, also on the consumer side, how much we're paying and what we have to do to get that game. Remember, a $60 game, one, is not cheap in this economy, but two, you had to get a $300 to $500 device to get to the game and access it on top of a television. Now, I'll leave television out of it because obviously, most likely people already got one laying the fuck around in the first place. But you get my point. I'm dropping on an average $59.99. And you're telling me you decided to say fuck it on the story? I'm not saying it has to be some deep, long, extremely stupid ass story that takes hours and hours and hours, even though the gameplay ran out of entertainment value a long time ago. Looking at you, Twilight Princess, I love you, but that shit was too fucking long. But I am saying that all bullshit aside, that even if your game is short, have something cohesive, have something to draw me into the product. Because if you don't, you got to remember, it's still a competition at the end of the day. Even if the companies get along, it's still a competition. If I don't want to buy your product a second time, or like it enough to get DLC or expansions and add-ons, I'm not going to do it. What they need to do is get writers who not necessarily have a degree, also writers who just have a natural interest or have a built-in hobby that involves video games. Because then you get a rare breed of writer. You get people that can catch things that normally you can't. Now, normally they'll have an in-house writer or somebody's already a writer and they go over the story meticulously time and time and time again, over and over and over and over and over again. That's still good. But it's always good to have somebody who can give an unbiased opinion or a fresh observation. So, yes, we do need stories. There is room for improvement. However, with that being said, if you're a cell phone game, I'm way more lenient on you. I mean, look at Angry Birds. Is there really a story? Look at Pokemon Go. There's never even needed to be a story in Pokemon in the first place. You could just literally wake up, I want to catch the end. Wait for the expansion pack. Go catch this. That's what they do in Monster Hunter. Nobody give a fuck about the story in Monster Hunter. They just want to wake up and be illegal poachers and then go back to sleep, then chill with their squad. Hey, that nigga Nergigante took my ass out. Oh, word, fam? We gonna roll up on him as soon as I finish these upgrades. Like, you don't need a story. I get that. But if I'm paying you a shit ton of money, it helps me give you more money. You stupid motherfucker. Anyways, on the topic 2. Disenfranchised and disabled. It is a well-known fact that no matter what happens in life, there will be people who have body parts broken violently, torn off, or genetically never acquired, as in born without them. Do you feel like it's in the video game industry's responsibility, Ether, to offer more control options for people like this, or is it an unfortunate case of luck of the draw? If your ability to utilize games are being born, to be utilized games after being born with or having a major injury in your life, and nothing can be done on the mainstream end of things. Basically, if you are physically inept or unable to do something due to a traumatic event that happened to your body or brain, do you feel like the video game industry should already have some type of controller backup in place? Or do you think that, hey, look, gaming is like any other hobby. Whether or not you can or can't do it is luck of the draw. Sorry, but tough titty. And I say that without any, hatred or malice towards the disabled community. My father was disabled the vast majority of the time I was born. He had got diagnosed the second year of my birth with OPD. So basically, he was disabled internally from the get-go. And I know how I can feel to know or watch somebody not be able to do things they want to do through no fault of their own. Except in his case. He was old enough to learn smoking was bad, still did it anyway. So, it is what it is in his case. Starting with you, officer.
Oh, me again? For more common, disabilities, for example, colorblindness, yeah, they should already have something in place. These are common enough and have been around long enough that they can easily put something in to, accommodate to that. But colorblindness, at least more like the red-green colorblindness, I mean, okay, that's not really hard to work around. Just put in something that changes some of the colors in the game. At least if those colors are especially important. I'll think of an example later, but for common disabilities, I think it wouldn't be too hard. And many of those, in fact, there's already, they already have workarounds built into the game. So, I mean, I don't think they're not putting any effort in. They just need to keep going as they have been. And those who aren't accommodating for simple disabilities, maybe consider doing it. I mean, it won't create that much more of a hard time with producing the game, will it? That's my say on it.
Okay. Dre?
Oh, there's a main example I have. Pretty sure everybody heard of this character, Broly Legs.
Well, no, they haven't. And even if they have, explain it for the people who are listening.
Yeah,
okay, well, Broly Legs is a prime example of basically born with a disorder, but he still maintained the love and passion of video gaming. Basically, Broly Legs, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he doesn't have the, I don't know what kind of disease it is, but
What, are you trying to get me to describe his disability?
yeah, but because I don't even know.
Okay,
But basically
his disability is
he doesn't. He can't use his arms. Right?
No, it's a lot worse than that. That would just be nice. Who is? Oh, that's not your fault.
No.
Y'all can hear that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone's car outside, alarm going off.
Yep. Yeah.
And it stopped. Cool. Broly Legs has a condition where he literally is gaining absolutely no mass in his upper body, specifically in his arms. So his arms look like what basically a human being's arms would look like if they had absolutely no uh, growth rate or growth spurt in. They hit a certain amount, and then that was it. The bones are really thin, and it's nothing but skin. There's pretty much no muscle mass within his arm area. So he learned to play video games, more specifically fighting games, with his feet. But he's also become MLG at the same time, which is professional game, and he plays with his feet exclusively.
I thought it was his face, really.
No, that would be very painful and hurt. Plays with his feet. Yeah, he probably can do something with his face, but no, he primarily plays with his feet.
Well, with that being said, basically with Broly legs, like I said, he's like the prime example of being born or being unfortunate, not being able to use all of his, abilities. And the way that I see it, even if like someone like a company like Microsoft looks at something like this and they acknowledge it, you think that they would have made something by now to like, I don't know, like heighten his abilities even more. But it seems like to me, it's a mixed bag of both. It's really unfortunate that, someone like Broly Legs, had his condition, but that didn't stop him from, basically still having the love and the passion of the game. I mean, basically, it seems like he just had to improvise the best way that possible and just try to overcome all odds. So, in other words, yeah, maybe it is really unfortunate, but if it seems like if it seems like it can be worked or, be mastered properly, anybody can be, a world class fighter like Daigo or, Justin Wong without, all the abilities, but still have extraordinary abilities.
So, what do you think the video game? So, you think the video game industry should have some type of apparatus readily there?
Yep.
Okay. What about you, Riot? Riot, you there? .exe looking ass. Okay. Well, I would love to text him and tell him, hey, it's your turn to talk. But, he a landline kind of guy. And on top of that, he didn't type, hey, I have to go to the bathroom or something. So unfortunately, we're going to have to come back to him if he actually does come back. But while we're waiting, I'll give my 2 cents. Oh, did you not know we can't hear you? We can't hear you, bro. So, if you're still plugged up and everything, try disconnecting and reconnecting. He typed what the hell for those of you at home. Hey, type something if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Mic isn't working. Huh, weird. Just type in general.
What is this? Well, I mean, we can recite his answer if he wants, but I don't see anything. Well, to save time, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about my answer. I feel like we're at a point now where going out of the way wouldn't be extremely difficult or, financially unreasonable for these bigger corporations. Not to mention, without being told to, Nintendo actually did already do it. Now, y'all might not remember this, and I think it was a little before our time, but it was a pretty famous case. During the era of the Super Nintendo, somebody who really wanted to play it had basically become a paraplegic. And Nintendo actually made a controller for him. He got his own exclusive controller from Nintendo to help him play video games. That's beautiful. That's one more reason for him not to kill himself. Video games. Not making a joke or anything, but, if you talk to anybody who becomes a paraplegic, quadriplegic, shit like that, you gotta stay with them, at least for the first year. Sometimes. You don't know how it can go.
Alright, I think I'm back.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I can hear you. Say something again.
Yeah, I'm back.
All right. Well, I'm going to give my answer real quick, and then we'll go into yours. We'll finish giving my answer, and we'll go back into yours. So basically, the way I see it, we got 3D printing, and of course, unfortunately, or fortunately, we have questionable, mass-producible equipment, plastic, machines, processors, the little things that, cost hundreds of thousands back in the day, like with any era. The more stuff is used, utilized, and manufactured and created, the less expensive it is, or the more inexpensive it becomes because it becomes more prevalent. Coming from the kitchen. Actually, I only ran out of that. But, no, that one? Yeah, but the other, like, vibrating. Something out there? Okay. Anyways, so I could understand if someone didn't go directly to Nintendo or the major companies, but let's be honest. If they can incorporate colorblind modes in a decent chunk of the games, why isn't there a number or website you can go to ask them, hey, where is the no hands controller? Where is the controller for people who are, only got one hand? These are things that are easily capable of being made. I'm not saying video game industry, how dare you neglect the disabled? Like I said, everything is a case-by-case basis. But I feel like they should already have some drafts and sketches that someone can just order in case of need. Let's not forget, MTO is still a thing. Made to order is still a thing. The problem is, big corporations don't want to fuck with it unless you pay them extra. But that's okay. I want to pay you extra because I'm getting something that's exclusive or very, very hard to find and get done in the first place. There is no excuse anymore. Okay. Now, go ahead, Riot. Assuming your mic still works.
It still works.
Yay.
Okay, so to build on what Officer was saying at first with the color blindness, a great example of that being addressed was actually with the new Killer Instinct that had come out. Now, when Double Helix was working on season, they did when they would show combo breakers and lockouts and all that stuff, it was just color coded. And then when Iron Galaxy took over with Season 2 and Season 3, one of the developers, Keats, he's actually colorblind himself. So to kind of address that issue without changing too much, they kept the color coding, but they added an L for a light breaker, M and H. There's a clock for lockouts and things like that. They added symbols to go along with the color coding. So even if you can't see the colors, you still know what the hell's going on. Another example is blind fighting gamers. They're out there. It's crazy. But
yeah, I saw one.
Yeah, with Skullgirls, one of the updates it got was these crazy sound options for really good surround sound for the people that play blind. So that was pretty cool. In terms of actual gamers, I know at Combo Breaker, I saw this one guy. I think he was an Orchid main. he had like I think cerebral palsy or some shit. But yeah, he was in top 8 and he was disabled. He has a big ass wheelchair and everything. Like he was keeping up with everybody else that was able bodied. It was nuts.
Sounds beautiful to me.
It really was. It really was. He didn't win, but he got like I think he got like 4th. But
Hey,
yeah,
that ain't nothing to shit at.
Yeah, there's this other guy in our local scene. He plays Street Fighter. I don't know his name, but I've seen him around. And he like I don't know what his disability is. Like I don't know what my name, but he does like his legs aren't complete and his arms aren't complete. They're just nubs. But he can still play Street Fighter just fine. It's
Brawly
crazy.
Is Brawly Legs from Chicago?
No, it's not Brawly Legs. It's I don't know where he's from. I know he has a book, but yeah, I don't know where he's from exactly. But yeah, and I remember in like the PS1 era, there was this one controller that was kind of trying to help disabled gamers.
Mm-hmm.
It was like it was kind of like this weird glove, and the way it worked was it had a like where your thumb is, that's where the D-pad was, and then for your 4 fingers there was like square, X, circle, triangle, and the L1, R1, L2, R2, that kind of thing, and
Right.
The D-pad part could be switched from left to right in case you had your right hand or you had your left hand, that kind of thing. So I mean, there's that. And I know one of Combo Breaker's sponsors makes controllers specifically for disabled gamers.
Hey, well,
So, like,
if you find their name or something, pass me a link.
yeah,
Might throw that up in the video.
Yeah, when I finish talking, I'll get to looking for that. I was already looking for that while you were talking. But yeah, like there's that. Like there are companies that work on this, but in terms of like games themselves, like I just don't think most of them are thinking about that because
It's
most
not brought
games
to their
has
attention.
Yeah, like you don't hear about it that much. So it's kind of one of those things that's taken for granted. It's definitely not malice. It's just you don't hear about it, you don't think about it. It's just out of sight, out of mind, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's pretty much my point. Let me get to looking for that link for you while you keep the show going.
Please do. Please do. I appreciate shit like that. All right, next topic. Gaming limits in the literal sense. Parental controls have been few and far between, but have become more stable and popular in the current video game landscape. However, as an adult, should there be ways for people who might or might not have control over their gameplay hours? Especially the ones who lack responsibility or who might have obsessive addiction to certain titles? Why or why not? Dre.
Wow. It seems to me a prime example of this would have to be Monster Hunter, wouldn't it?
Oh, you heard about that lady?
No,
Oh,
I haven't
okay.
heard. Basically, it's things like Monster Hunter and I'll say Borderlands, where you want to get to a certain level with your team or your squad, and you want to make absolutely sure that. Oh, sorry. Basically, what I was saying, something like Borderlands or the Monster Hunter. Basically, you have like that one person in your squad that's basically I don't want to say it's not a black sheep.
Say addict. An addict.
Well, it's not even much of an addict. He's basically the weakest link of the group, and he hasn't been leveled up because, well, quite frankly, either he has a life or he doesn't have the proper equipment to level up or anything like that. And if something like that happens, then the question comes to mind is, oh my gosh, how can he improve and be one with the team while leveling up? Like, how can he keep, leveling up when his other teammates are leveling up as well? And if you do have that one person that's OP, and it's like, he doesn't even really need tag team partners or whatever. It's like, what's the point of playing this game with him or her? Basically, I think it's more of the responsibility of the gamer. And the only reason I'm saying that is because, well, if I know for a fact that I don't have Monster Hunter and I want to play Monster Hunter with my friends, I know for a fact that the moment I get the game, I can't play online with the friends because I'll be considered the weakest link. And I must be up to par with everybody else in order to even get, the proper material to level up and also be one with the team. Instead of looking like, a sitting duck and just die every 3 seconds. So
I mean, damn, that's a big ass power gap.
But it happens like that.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna bullshit. I only really played 2 MMOs, and even then, one of them is a legacy MMO, Phantasy Star Online, where my sci-fi people at. But fucking, it was always easy to level up. The biggest question was your damage output, but damage output didn't determine or fuck with, people's ability to play with you so much as trust you in high rank events. So like a raid, shit like that. Yeah, you're not gonna be on the sidelines, but you're gonna be damn near close to it until you can get close to level. Because even if you underpowered compared to everybody else, if you make it into the level, guess what? You're still gonna level up and you're still gonna get more power. And since there's a skill tree, you can modify it to, make up for some of your weaknesses, shit like that. So, but at the same time, PSO is, a rare exception to the normalcy that people expect with MMOs. Remember, it was the first console MMO ever, as well as, just not adhering to a lot of the more traditional rules. Ain't no point click bullshit going on here. You want to hit something, you go hit it. You want to shoot something, you go shoot it. Like, I really hate the idea of just selecting my attack from a menu if I'm not playing a traditional RPG, which, well, they're few and far between these days, but that shit, in a real-time setting, it just feels weird.
Then what can we say about what happened with the Final Fantasy franchise then?
First off, they openly admitted that they're not trying to go back to fucking that shit, that turn-based shit. Turn-based didn't suck, it's just outdated. You can modify it and mess with it however you want to, but as long as it's not a real-time fight, it will forever be, in some way, shape, or form, obsolete. Yes, it's got sentimental value, it's classical, it's traditional. Doesn't fucking matter. No one said you had to get rid of it, just saying don't call it fresh, new, hip. There's nothing you can do with it that someone else hasn't already done or done better. It's old.
Okay, but one more thing.
What?
With the player, with with Fantasy Star Online, wouldn't you have to be fully committed to that just one game and just don't play any other game like Monster Hunter?
Fuck no. Common misconception. The thing about MMO is that the reason people play so hard or obsessively is because on average, back in the day, before the economies all went to shit, you had to pay a monthly fee. So if you're going to play that game, you're going to get that game, you're going to play that game. Because you're constantly paying for it without any guaranteed promise of DLC, add-ons, expansion passes. Hell, your game may even fucking fail. Right? But you're going to play that shit because time is literally money in this game. It goes from being recreational to damn near habitual. So on that level, I can understand. But in the case of PSO, that stopped as of 2013, when PSO first came out. They announced they would do free-to-play with cosmetic microtransactions or in-game item microtransactions. You can't buy levels, though. You still got to do some grinding. And they've managed to make a profit ever since then. They even made a cell phone iteration. I don't want to think about how much money that thing is pissing. So yeah, Sega doing alright. They fuck up, but not to the point where they're going to self-destruct. Okay, so you already went. All right, Riot, your turn.
have too much experience with that because.
Well, none of us do. I've never had somebody put a limit on my gaming as a grown ass man.
I actually had an example. Y'all remember Dungeon Fighter Online, right?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't even remember. I still play that shit.
Okay, so then you know exactly what I'm going to talk about.
Yup.
So when I first played the game, like when it first came out, you could just play as long as you wanted and all that shit. I fell out of it, and then later on, one of my friends was like, "Yo, you should get back in. It's really awesome now." So like, I got back in, and I was playing for a while, and then I got to a point where like I just couldn't do missions anymore. Like the game just wouldn't let me, and I didn't know why, because everything else in the game seemed the same. And it turns out that they adopted like that mobile gaming stuff where you need energy to keep playing. So they just imposed a cooldown on missions now. So after you do so many, you can't play for like a few hours. And I was like, oh, well, fuck this then. And I never went back.
Well, I'm pretty sure even if that's not gone, it's pretty much non-existent. Because, well, you know, that shit, I hate to stereotype, and this is going to sound mean, but there's no way else for it to sound. That shit was never even really for us in the first place. It was for Eastern countries. More specifically, East Asian countries. Because, as we all know, gaming addiction, or addiction in general, is more prevalent when it comes to video games or PC games in places like China, Korea, and Japan. Korea, more specifically, where this game is from, they have an annual video gamer suicide rate. And it's not because they kill themselves because they can't play their game anymore. They're killing themselves from malnutrition. They're literally playing the game and not going and getting basic human supplies, like food, which will allow you to keep playing the game, which is why it's sad. But that's when their version of the federal government got involved and they put on those restrictions and limits. That's where that came from. However, over here, you know, the worst you'll get is someone who skips out of school, drops out, and for the most part, you know, they won't keep up any level of hygiene. It's disgusting, it's fucked up, it happens, but suicide, because you're playing the game too much, is way, way, way more rare. So when these games come over here, they leave them on there because they think that, you know, they're doing this other country a service, but realistically, it's more like a fucking waste of time hindrance. Yeah, in the case of DFO specifically, if I'm kind of right, they've had a triple-digit number of nutrition-based suicides, but none of them have been American citizens.
Right, and I mean, to your point, for us, when we get the, you know, you can only play for so long thing, that's not for the better of our health. That's to get money out of us. Because for us, like I said, with the mobile games, what ends up happening is like, hey, you gotta wait about a couple hours if you want to play again. Or you can give us a couple bucks and you can keep playing right now. Mm-hmm. And you'll even get more gold.
A cell phone subscription game plan. That just disgusts me. Even saying the words. So, what do you think you can do to fix this, right?
Man, like...
Or rather, do you think there should be some type of limitations imposed for adults?
Honestly, I think... what should happen? I mean, this could sound weird, but say for like MMOs, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Say like, you know, people are on the grind, they want to get their experience and shit. Like, what if there was like some weird EXP cooldown where it's like, after a while, you just don't get as much anymore, and it's kind of a sign like, hey, maybe you should kind of go to bed, or, you know, feed your baby or something.
I
don't think it'd be received. I mean, received well,
you laugh, but you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how often shit like that happens.
I know. That's why. It's like,
yeah, parents don't feed their babies.
Yeah, because they're playing a fucking game. And I don't mean like, oh, it's a toddler or somebody that can find a fridge. I mean like, no, it's a legitimate baby. and they'll be on Twitch
A
live streaming.
newborn. We talking about newborns.
Yeah, and they'll be on Twitch live streaming and shit.
Oh,
and everybody
no.
in chat like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, ain't nobody gonna praise you for that shit. Ain't nobody gonna donate money to you.
Yeah, remember Farmville? Like, babies died because moms were too busy playing Farmville to go take care of their fucking kids.
I did not know that.
We'll open my eyes, and I was young at the time. Like, I was kind of, I think I felt fear and depression for the first time as a combination. But I think I was 7. Somebody's kid died because they went into a casino and played games for 7.5 hours. And the window was up and everything. And all the lady can remember is she came down, she sat down to play in the casino, and the next thing she remembers is fucking cops putting her in cuffs.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
An actual casino?
There's not really a fake one, but yeah. She left the kid.
They're on the phones.
No, those are real. Those are considered real.
No, they're built for that shit. That's why there's like no windows.
Yeah, and then here's the thing though. Yeah, like
this
was 97. 97. Like everyone saw the kid. Everyone saw the kid.
Falling from the window?
They just saw the kid in the car, and at some point in time, someone noticed he didn't look like he was moving. And even if he did, that's 7 hours. If memory serves, I don't even think newborns can even go 7 hours without getting food in their system. I think the max is like 10.
Hunger, that baby got cooked.
Yeah. I don't even know what year or what time of year and what state it happened, but the fact that it did happen, like, it's...
If it happened in a hot state, there's no way that the baby could survive that long.
It wouldn't have mattered. He had no food. He was in his car seat. All he had was himself and his tears.
That's pretty fucked up.
It happened. It fucking happened.
I don't doubt that.
So, yeah, right, what do you think? Restrictions or what? Or you just think that you want them to, the game make them lose interest in playing after a certain amount of time?
Well, I think there should be more like time-based things, like more events where it's like you got to play at this time, and yeah, experience cooldowns, things like that. Like, it's going to be a balancing act, but you got to give something to people to be like, all right, you know what? I think I reached my cooldown. I'm going to get off for a while. Otherwise, they're just going to lose time.
Now, PSO does have, ironically, something like that, but it's a little bit different. But it created the same effect. But on an accident, though. Okay, so if you went into a high EXP area, you could farm your ass off, right? But not so much items as EXP. So what they decided to do was, when they realized people were just hitting the max level stupid easy, after 2 hours of being on any game's map, even if enemies still spawn, they drop no EXP. So you're literally wasting your time. Doesn't matter what shows up. It could be a random boss encounter, a rare enemy. Valer Morgulis. All EXP must die, goddammit. I just want to bring that one up to show you an example of it in action. And see, here's the thing. The average time it takes to beat a stage, even with a difficult boss, by yourself, is 15 minutes, or really close to 13. Especially if you got high power level. Not EXP, but legitimate, actually stupid high attack power. So if you're in there for 2 hours, they know you ain't doing nothing but trying to beat the system. Now, if you're in a boss fight and you keep coming in and out of the mission, that's fine. So, if you have a stupid long fight or a stupid long mission for whatever reason, because you're there farming for an item, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Because as soon as you leave that map, the 2 hours resets. So when you go to the next area, 2 hours has to pass. But when it does, it applies to every area in that dungeon. You ain't gonna beat their system. Not commend her for coming up with it. But yeah, officer, did you go?
No.
Okay, go ahead, officer.
Well, I think we should only really, in this particular case, focus on games that, you know, people will end up playing for really ridiculously long like, you know, frickin' MMOs and like. And putting in incentive and the like to make sure people don't play super long.
But
I mean, I believe that's a pretty good idea. The thing you mentioned with Fantasy Star Online 2, that is really fucking clever. But for some games, though, I'm not really sure how they would put in incentives really to stop playing. I mean, it's a
block
really
them from going to missions.
It's like a really simple game that just happens to be super addictive. Well, I almost feel it possibly a bit, I'm not sure if disingenuous is the right word, but that's what I'm going to use. A bit disingenuous to just suddenly say, okay, now you must stop playing this game. Basically, I think I think this should be a concern primarily focused on the games more prone to addiction, like MMOs. Anyway, that's my say on it.
Okay. Dre, did you go?
Mm-hmm.
So that just leaves me. Alright.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just be blunt. I know the video game industry can't individually go in and check, or at least not yet, if somebody has any type of addiction, or they've been listed as being someone who's been capable of having habitual addictions, you know, psychological addictions. Basically, you know, anything that falls under that category without the use of a chemical or a food-based substance. But if we ever get to that time, give out the registry, make sure it can't be fucked with, set up a timer. Now, in the case of regular video games, I think it should be on the part of the industry, not the actual individual software. So, if I got a PS4, I got a Switch, blah, 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 what I think is that there should be something I can do as the creator of these systems to where if I start noticing unhealthy patterns, like, oh, you logged 20 hours on this game. 20 hours in one day. And then I notice you do it and it's not like the weekend or, you know, put it on an algorithm. I notice like, oh, you've been doing this 7 days a week. I don't care if you have a job or not, if you're a little kid or not. That is fucking unhealthy. And I automatically, you know, put in a built-in timer. Okay, now you can't get more than 13, 12 hours a day. You know, adjust it to the individual. We can do that with programming and coding. Easy. Easy. And also, we can set up reminders to let them know, hey, when your warning's coming up. They already got that for the Switch. That was like a day one feature.
But the hunt is real.
Yeah, funny. For those of you who don't know it, there's a woman who is raising 2 children. She's logged over 1,000 hours in Monster Hunter 3. And in the new Monster Hunter, she's logged over 200 hours in 30 days. That means that she spent 20 out of 30 days in a month worth of hours playing this game. She's physically healthy. She's good to her children. And she's an admirable wife. But she even recognizes that the level of gameplay she has is not normal, abnormal, and partially embarrassing. She used to be a celebrity too, so that's one of the main reasons it caught on.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. She got over 200 hours in less than 30 days of the game being out. Scary, isn't it?
Very.
Sometimes she got cryptocurrencies hidden.
No, she used to be a celebrity. Like I said, she didn't piss away her wealth, so she can live stably and get away with this shit. But the thing is just that, it's fucking unhealthy. Because that's actually what happens when you have an excessive amount of money and you don't have any drive, goals, and ambition. You can actually self-destruct. That's why it's good to try to figure out things, or at least learn things that'll, expand your horizons other than, ooh, piece of candy, or, ooh, damn, she got a nice ass. Because no one said they're not fun. It's just, you can't make that the only thing, because then you shorten your lifespan dramatically.
But booty
Carrot on a stick mentality.
No one
is
said
very
sex
dangerous.
sucked, bro. No one.
But booty is booty.
That doesn't apply here. You can apply booty to many things, but not here.
No, it's carrot on a stick.
See? The same concept. You keep chasing and chasing and chasing and chasing and chasing, but if you spend money and money and money and money and money to get it, eventually you're going to hit a wall, aka run out, which means, guess what you can't get no more?
Booty.
Exactly. To quote the infamous, and I use that term accurately, Mike Tyson, I'm speaking from first-hand experience. When you lose money, bitch is the first thing to go. I am not in no way implying that all women are bitches or anything of that derogatory nature, but if you only fuck with me and you only want to be around me because you want to see how much of my wallet you can suck out of my penis, are you really a dignified woman? Should I be treating you the same way as I would a dignified woman? You were created equally. We don't act equally. And even then, when I see hoes, sluts, gold diggers, I still don't call them bitches. I'm just quoting Mike Tyson. I just call them gold digger to their face, or a slut, or a whore. But again, that still falls under, you've done something to warrant that. I'm not just doing that because I feel like I can get away with it. Unfortunately, we live in a day and age where too many people want to say all they want to on the internet, but when they get in real life, they're not going to do shit. I was not born into that era, but I do recognize its existence. But yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like we should be using our machines and algorithms and whatnot from on the industry side of things to go, okay, this guy just got this new game and it's his day off. Okay, well, let's put two and two together. This is perfectly normal. But then, here's that other guy. He spent 22 hours playing this fucking game. From 1 a.m. to now, 22 hours. Hey, buddy, fuck up out of here. And if there's only one account on the system, oh, most definitely. But at the same time, somebody will try to circumvent it. Some hacker will try to make a patch that gets around it. But at least putting forth the effort, even though it's on small amounts right now, is better than no effort. That's how I feel. Yeah, there's room for improvement, but at least we're making some strides.
Okay, but with the lady that's a former celebrity, isn't it possible that she could have had her own Twitch account and make money off of that?
In Japan, but at the same time, when it comes to super popular games, almost nobody watches anybody play unless they're already super popular. If PewDiePie right now, fucking hate saying name, plays Monster Hunter for a week, he's gonna make stupid bank. But if Joe Schmo plays Monster Hunter, even if he got the most rarest ultimate weapon set, or is said he's gonna hunt them down, he might be lucky if he gets 20 people
Because
in a week.
Irrelevant in the gaming world.
Yes. Even though the game is not, he is. Same with this podcast. I don't do this podcast because it's my job. It was going to happen, part of my job. It was going to happen regardless. I do this because,
It's a hobby.
yeah, and I like talking to people who can actually have differences of opinions without basically being petty-ass jackasses about it. Now, me and Kenny have known each other, with the exception of Matt, me and Kenny have known each other the longest. But, we have giant, we're like burst friends, what I call. We have giant gaps where we're on the outside of each other's life, and we're not socializing as much. But, I still watch and look at his shit from time to time like I do with anybody's Facebook status. There's 629 some odd people on my friends list. It takes me time to go in a cycle, okay? But
Definitely.
I know for a fact that he's capable of having an unbiased opinion. I know for a fact he's a grown-ass motherfucking man. And 2, he's capable of socializing in a non-dysfunctional manner. Those are rare skills these days. In a world of, oh, well, if you don't like exactly the same thing I like in the exact same way, fuck you, you're a piece of shit. But then their fucking default message on all their social media is, I'm insert fandom trash. Like, let's recap real quick. There's the Weeble alarm. Let's recap real quick. You like something. You have a vested interest in its lure and the actual, continuation and growth of its franchise. But your first description on social media is, I am a trash of, we'll say, Fire Emblem. It's like you're not helping me believe how you think right now, how you feel right now.
The waifus.
Like, dude, I fucking hate that term so much. I don't know why we stopped using the terms crush and character crush. They fit. You can apply to anything.
Appropriation of Japanese terms, and they're not even like positive terms in Japan.
They're not even accurate terms. The word for wife in Japan is not waifu. Actually, I'm curious. Let's Google that shit.
Like otaku, I know, like in Japan,
Japanese term
otaku,
for wife.
Like, that's not a pleasant thing.
Nope.
See that? Suma. That's the word for wife in fucking Japanese. They're making fucking pseudo-cultural slang terms that, well, you could easily view as derogatory, but the whole concept of derogatoriness is subjective. And in the case of otaku, it's just a double-edged fuck up. Not sword, it's a double-edged fuck up. It wasn't a negative term originally, but then one person who was an otaku kidnapped and murdered 3 people in his house. That's when the negative connotation started. However, celebrities and famous people use it to, also describe dysfunctional, obsessive, psychologically messed up fans. And then America got it and they said, oh, it's basically the same as nerd, geek. Like, neither of those terms are actually positive terms. In fact, both of them are genuinely derogatory.
Yup.
Let's consult Google again.
So,
definition of nerd.
No, on that
nerd,
note,
a foolish or contemptible person who lacks social skills or is boringly studious.
Definition of geek.
Geek, an unfashionable or socially inept person.
And if you go on Anime Network or Anime Database, whichever one is a big old daddy of them all, they actually have a whole entire report on otaku. Not really, they basically copy-pasted a fucking wiki article. They say that the term is interchangeable in America with geek and nerd. I'm like, bitch, you're not helping yourself. If I don't want to be considered or called a homicidal murderer, and I've never killed anybody, I don't tell people, oh, don't call me a homicidal murderer. Just call me a sociopathic killer. How the fuck is that better?
Yeah, that's true.
Now, what were you saying?
You think that's why people started using stan? Like
what?
Standing for something? Because I know it's from the Eminem song, but like...
What, you mean like I stand for?
Wait, what was that? I didn't hear you.
I don't, do you mean
like the name
S-T-A-N-D or S-T-A-N?
I think it's the name.
Stan.
Oh, yeah, because Stan is that thing. Stan, if you actually remember I think it was the making of, or the slight little like mini conversation Eminem had about that song when it was made and got a music video back in, I think, 04, 03, or 02. He said, this is what I want people to see how being a fan can go wrong or something like that. He said, this is the dark side of fandom. He basically showed people, hey, this is how you don't act as a fan of anything. Let's recap what Stan did. Beat his wife, put him in the trunk. Yeah.
I thought he killed his
no, he
kid.
accidentally killed himself.
He didn't kill his kid.
No, he did. She was pregnant. Yeah, she was pregnant in the car. Yeah. Unfortunately, kids get to run away from things. Not even kids, like partial adults. I know that sounds mean, but hey, there's no nice way to say it. Arrested development is real. It's an actual medical condition. It's people who basically run around as in an age group trying to be in another age group. 40-year-old men trying to be like 8 and 9-year-old kids. There's a guy, if memory serves, in Europe who at the age of 60 decided he wants to be treated like a fucking baby. So he actually sits around and cries, does not communicate in English for anything you want to do. I'm like, I could fix that motherfucker so easily. He's mooching off of his fucking family. If I drop his ass in the middle of a fucking just grassy plains field area in a country that he's not even fucking living in, because you know how Europe is. You can drive to other countries. And if I drop his ass in the middle of that field with no money, nothing, how is he going to get back?
He's not. He's going to die.
He's going to die, or he's going to act like an adult. And guess what? I'm going to change the locks either way. Or I'm going to move the fuck out. Because that's just manipulation at that point. It's fucking disgusting. Anyways, forgot what we was doing. Oh yeah, Riot asked me a question. But yeah, that's how I look at all the shit. Like, half the problem is us as individuals. The other half is people allowing us to get this way. Like them people that fuck dolls or marry inanimate objects. If there wasn't a law that allowed them to do it, could they do it? Mm-mm. If we weren't defunding mental health more than any other civilized country, would these people be stable citizens? Mm-hmm. But guess what? Whose fault is it at that point? Is it theirs or is it ours? Both. But yeah, you see what I mean? I dare you guys to look up Dave Cat. I'm going to spell his name for you too. You're going to feel sick to your stomach. Oh, you already heard about him?
Yes.
Yeah. Dave Cat is a 40-year-old man who lives with his parents, shares genetic ancestry to Africa, unfortunately, and has what can only be described as a $1,000 anime collection. But you know what else he has?
What's that?
He has a sex doll that he named and treats like a real human being until his dad comes around and then he puts her in a case. He rubs its feet and claims it listens to him about all of his problems and wants to take care of him. It can't even stand upright.
It's not supposed to.
Go ahead and look him up, Dave Cat. Not right now, but, you know, when you don't have anything in your stomach and you're sitting down. Did I mention he's over 40?
Yep.
Okay, just checking. Society made that motherfucker. That he didn't do that shit alone. Society made that motherfucker.
All because he couldn't, or he didn't have the ability to talk to women.
No, that's barely hard. Like, psychological shit goes a lot deeper. If someone can't talk to other people, something happened, or they're doing something mentally that they don't understand. This is bad for me. And they might not ever even fucking learn. Moving on, assuming that was everybody. Final topic. Save it for later. The creators of Guilty Gear franchise have admitted after the success of Dragon Ball FighterZ, that's right, I pick how I pronounce it, that complex gameplay and easy controls will be in the near future of Guilty Gear. In fact, they heavily implied the next title will feature this. However, I'm wondering, where do you all stand in the case of fighting game complexity and technicality versus fighting game ease of use but hard to master casualization of things? You know what? You got seniority. Not gonna bullshit. How you feel, Riot?
Well, Guilty Gear being complex isn't anything new. I mean, it's been like that for the whole series. So this is actually kind of like a weird statement for them to make, because it's like, it'd be like you saying, "Yeah, I'm black." It's like, yeah, we know, Zax. I mean, like Guilty Gear saying that the next game is gonna have complex fighting shit is just like, yeah,
No.
you have that
Complex fighting engine or complex fighting mechanics, but simplified button press and layout.
No, they tried that. They tried that with the Exert series.
No, they didn't. They failed.
Yes, they did.
They fucking failed.
Yeah, they did fail. But I'm saying they tried it. They tried it with stylish mode.
No. That was always meant. They got that from Blaze Blue. That was just really meant for people who are button mashers. That was not actually meant to do anything. Dude, you can't.
But Zax, here's the thing.
What?
They think that's simplification.
And I know they're stupid.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they tried it, but that was them trying it. They don't know what that means.
Which is sad because in their 23, 25-year history, all they do is fucking fighting games. With like 4 exceptions. 4.
Yeah.
Even when Sega bought him, Sega was like, hey, you know what? You guys keep doing you. You do you, boo-boo.
Yeah, like their idea of simplification is, just give them some button mash feature. No, that's not how you do it. You teach them how to play the fucking game. But then you get shit like, Dragon Ball FighterZ is supposed to be a simplified fighting game, but the game doesn't tell you about the engines.
Thank you. Dude, shit you not.
Sparking.
I found a video that told
tell
you
what sparking does.
Dude, I found a video that I have to give people who I know have the game. I literally have to YouTube link people of secret functionalities in the game. And then when I first did it, it had that video had 400 views. I went back and looked at it, 60 fucking thousand. I'm like, y'all just fucking up so hard. Hard.
Yeah, like there's that, and then you get shit like Street Fighter 4 when they were talking about, we want to go back to basics, and we want to make this game accessible for newcomers. Yeah, their idea of accessibility was bring back Street Fighter 2 cast. No, that's not how that works. Focus attack dash canceling is not simple.
Hell no. And then there was that red focus attack that they introduced at the last minute. I never actually learned how to do that. Me, the guy who actually knows how to play fighting games. Me, the guy who's had a controller put in his hand by his cousins or smacked it out of their hand because it was funny when he was a baby since 89. And I could not understand how the fuck they explained that red focus attack shit. And I've never even seen somebody do it in a tournament. What? How do you do that fucking red focus attack bullshit? You know when they really got simple? When they went and did EX mode like Guilty Gear did. Ironically, Guilty Gear stopped it. When they made Street Fighter 4 Omega and they added those alternate versions of how the characters play, that shit was fun.
You want to know what's funny about Omega mode though?
What?
The Omega mode move list isn't in the game.
So you gotta guess everybody's
had completely different move sets.
So you gotta guess everybody's secret move, and then hope for the best, which absolutely made no sense.
You had to look it up.
Y'all have to look it up. I had to go in my fucking kitchen, go in my freezer, and get some snack foods I'm not even supposed to have with my current surgical condition, just to get less mad at that shit.
Yeah.
I got fucking
like
peeps.
At launch, the move list was not in the game. You look it up, it's the regular move list. But even funnier, there's a secret mechanic in Street Fighter 4 that the game never explained in any iteration.
Nigga, you better be lying.
That mechanic. No, I'm dead serious. You can go to any Street Fighter 4 match and see what I'm talking about. On the health bars, whenever your opponent gets hit, there's a little light on the border of the health bar that travels from one end of it to the other end of it. That's the combo timing. You can follow that and learn timing for moves. They never explain this.
What the fuck?
You just had to notice it.
I never noticed.
When did you find that out?
I never noticed.
Vanilla.
Let me ask you something.
What?
Let me ask you something. Did you find any online videos about it?
No, I just noticed it and told people. Top players didn't even know it.
Bruh.
What?
Bruh. We need to make a video about this shit.
I need to see
there might
the
be
video.
one now, but like...
No, I don't...
Yeah, at the time.
Nigga, it don't matter. If everybody don't know about it, then somebody can learn about it. But also, I just genuinely want to make a video about why the fuck is Japan so ass with their goddamn fighting game tutorials. Looking at you too, Smash Brothers. You ain't off the hook.
Speaking of that, u.n.i.e.L. In-Birth EXE latest, has the best video game tutorial, fighting game tutorial. Period.
I misjudged that game so much because I thought it was just, oh, here's a frantic, hardcore ass, everybody moves fast, Guilty Gear style complexity fighting game. Well, I'm just going to put you in the never going to play bin because you're not doing anything new, creative, and different. Lo and behold, turns out they simplified all of the fucking controls. So no matter who you are, you can play this game and look like you're MLG. Which, first off, that's what every fucking fighting game company should be striving for, as well as notoriety. So, but I didn't find that out. That game's been coming out since 2013. I didn't find that out till 2 months ago.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to find you a link to the playlist. There's a playlist that goes through every lesson and the tutorial. I mean, just look at it when you have the time. It's amazing. Like, they tell new players how to do special moves.
And then I think in Yu.n.i.e.l, every single special move had a super version of itself, like a super combo version of itself. That's fucking genius.
Right, but I don't mean like, oh, this is the move list. No, I mean like, they tell you how to do it physically on your controller. They explain it. They explain shortcuts for learning how to do like DPs and shit like that. Like, they go in depth. They teach you how to play fighting games. If you took out everything that was specific to u.n.i.e.l, you're going to leave that tutorial knowing how to play so many 2D fighting games. Just because of that tutorial.
Yeah, but the game will still be nice to your fucking hands.
But here's the thing. No one else would say that. Dragon Ball FighterZ is like the top selling fighting game right now.
And they bullshit.
Worst tutorial.
And they're bullshit. Dude, without even trying, I learned how to make my character come out with a fucking level 3. Before I even got out of the tutorial. And then I was like, wait, did the tutorial even say this shit to me? And even if it did, guess what? It didn't tell you that, oh, if you use a level 3, you can't bring out any other characters. Ain't nobody just gonna fucking know that. You could do that in Marvel. I swear to God, dude, I shit you not. I spent an hour and a half thinking my game was broke and trying to do combos to make another super come out after my level 3. An hour and damn near a half. Let's just say I was more than a little fucking pissed.
Yeah, it's a fucking mess. But yeah, I'm gonna find you that playlist real quick.
Yeah.
It's in my Twitter, man.
Well, while he's doing that, Officer, you go.
To be honest, I've never been in one fighting game.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, dumbing down for newer players to at least some degree of accessibility, okay, that would be nice. But perhaps at the same time also keep in that complexity and, as you guys mentioned, give a proper tutorial.
u.n.i.e.l. It's either that or play Evil Zone, which is a one-button fighting game. Actually, there's a better one-button fighting game. Trajes Fatai. It's a Brazilian fighting game.
What the fuck?
I'll link it. I will link it.
Yeah, because I can't pronounce or spell that shit, nigga.
Yeah, it's fucking Portuguese. I don't know how to pronounce it either.
Portuguese, yeah. Yeah, it sounds like it.
I remember freaking Evil Zone. Oh my god.
Yeah, did you ever play Evil Zone, Zax?
I didn't know I didn't know that there was a such thing as a one-button fighting game, so no. I heard about Dive Kick, and Dive Kick pissed me off because it was a 2-button fighting game, and I've told a lot of people, don't talk to me about Dive Kick. I don't find that shit funny. That shit pisses me off.
Yeah, so Evil Zone, yeah, like I said, it looks like a 2.5D fighting game, but how it works is the attack you have is based on the distance between your... That's it.
That sounds like Star Ocean.
It's a good single-player fighting game. I wouldn't play it with anybody. Like, it like, all the characters...
I've never heard someone say that about a fighting game.
I never played with it.
It's a good
I would
single-player
never
fighting
play
game.
with anyone.
So Soul Calibur. Soul Calibur is a great single-player fighting game because of the quests and shit.
I did hear someone say that. Arcana Heart series. I know a lot of people who are embarrassed to get caught playing that shit, and this is before they started trying to extort the fans, and they succeeded, which is really sad. But yeah, they succeeded with that shit. Because Arcana Hearts, bruh, there's no way to almost not look like a pedophile or to be automatically assumed to be a weeaboo, otaku, animu, blah, 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 whatever derogatory term they use these days, with our kind of hearts. Because on the surface, it looks like garbage. But if you actually play it and know why it got attention in the first place, you'll understand that's not what it's about. Because it tripped me up with that too. I didn't want to fucking touch it. But I was really curious, how the fuck does a fighting game, a 2D fighting game, have trillions of have trillions of combo options? The average fighting game has a couple 100,000. How do they have trillions? They weren't lying. It wasn't marketing. It actually existed.
Huh.
But yeah, go ahead, officer.
Well, no, that's pretty much all I have to say on it. That, yeah, I mean, dumbing things down slightly, but also offering, some degree of, not dumbing down of advanced level of play. I mean, I'm not sure if it's possible to do both. I hear supposedly the Persona fighting game did that, but
Nope.
I don't know. I never played it.
Dude, okay.
But
No, I'm gonna let you finish.
yeah, other than that, give a tutorial that explains everything. Am I asking for too much in saying that?
No, you're not. I just linked everybody. I just linked you guys to what you want. That link is what you want right now. Now, in terms of Persona 4 Arena, here's what this fucking game adds to the table. So, so anybody can answer. When you play a 2D fighting game, what happens when you jump over somebody?
You get on the other side of them. And you can do a
Right.
cross-up.
Automatically, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
In Persona 4 Arena, there's a cross-up button.
What?
Yeah. You gotta hit, it's like light attack and light persona button when you jump over somebody to actually turn around in midair and hit them from the other side.
So what, do you have fucking back-sided attacks that can only activate when you're turned around or something?
No, once you're on the ground, you turn around. But in midair, you have to manually turn around.
Why?
I don't know. Also, there's another feature. They added this in Ultimax. So, that game already has, mash light attack, get a free combo. But there's another thing it does. You can just hold light attack, and this little gauge above your character's head shows up. And depending on how long you hold it, you will get a special move, an EX special move, a super move, an EX super move, instant kill.
What?
Instant
Yes.
kill.
Oh, say that shit again.
Those are the meters. It starts with special move, EX special move, super move, EX super move, instant kill.
What game is this?
Persona 4
Okay,
Arena
what are you
Ultimax.
doing over there? Because he's not even, boring. He's saying interesting shit. What is that?
Oh, Zedge.
Fuck is that? Wait, you're looking for ringtones?
Yeah.
Is now really the time for that, especially when you got it on silent? Anyways, that's really fucking stupid. But I understand what they were going for. They thought that was how you do simplify. How are they so bad at figuring out the concept of simplify?
I don't know. And the thing is that's not even an optional thing. That's just in the game.
So you can't turn it off.
No, you can't turn it off.
See, this is why I tell people, don't even be mad about the Dragon Balls. The Dragon Balls is the being in Dragon Ball FighterZ is the equivalent of literally fucking someone who knows they're not going to learn how to playing the game. Because you can only activate it by what? Pressing the light punch button 5 times, or in some cases 3 or 4 times, in a 7-row set, so 21 times between you and your opponent. It's really rock, paper, scissors at that point. I don't know
Yeah,
I don't know what
it's
to say to
nuts.
that.
Now, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite also has like easy mode stuff, but you can turn that off.
Yeah, and it only does two things: ground combo into a super, air combo into a super.
Yeah, and for the Japanese 2D fighters that have like the mash light for an attack, like attack combo and shit, their way of like trying to get people to not rely on it too much is the damage sucks. That's it.
Seriously?
Yeah, they just don't do as much damage. Even though they ended a super, they just don't do as much damage.
I feel sick to my stomach. Dre, your turn. Or did you go?
No, I already went.
Okay, Riot, did you go? Oh shit,
Wait,
technically
first.
you didn't go.
I think I didn't go.
Nigga.
No, I
Okay,
went
let me
first.
repeat the question to you, Dre, because apparently now you're throwing off my order. The creators of Guilty Gear franchise have admitted after the success of Dragon Ball FighterZ that complex gameplay and easy controls will be in the near future of Guilty Gear. In fact, they heavily implied the next title in the series will feature this. But what I'm wondering is, where do you all stand in this case of fighting game complexity and technicality versus fighting game ease of use, but hard to master, casualization of things?
But, well, it's basically what Riot was saying all along, that there's really no need for that, because they don't even put all the features, or they don't tell us everything that's going on in gameplay. So it's kind of really weird that Guilty Gear will even say something like that. Even when you play Guilty Gear, it basically almost seems complex as it is.
It is complex.
Try to execute, I mean...
Dude, yeah, like
try
they're
to
one of
do the
those games that
combos.
will give you arthritis. This is a known fact.
I mean,
Those type
trying
of
to
fighting
do
games will
combos
give you
and
fucking arthritis.
You don't hear people from Tekken saying this. Tekken never said anything about that. And Tekken is probably considered one of the toughest games to execute a 10-hit combo. Especially with someone like King.
Not even
or
10-hit combo. It's just in general because, again, ironically, that falls back into what me and Riot said. Their tutorial sucks ass, especially in Tekken 7. Apparently,
Actually,
the tutorial got a record for sucking ass because it's actually considered. Now, you don't quote me on this because I don't follow Tekken like that. Besides people making YouTube videos about it, it's being considered to be the worst Tekken tutorial they've ever made.
And it's only the second one.
They've only made 2 tutorials in their 9-game history.
Yeah, Tekken Tag 2 was the first tutorial. The Violet Labs mode is the tutorial.
Holy fucking...
Yeah, they were, yeah.
See, this is... And then people ask me, why you don't like Tekken? Like, dude, I don't understand how the fucking combo system works. Like, well, it's really simple. You play fighting games for like... No,
it's not simple.
And yeah, you actually have to stop and slow down how fast you're inputting buttons to get shit to happen. No one told me that shit.
Plus, you have to go to the practice mode to do all that.
And think about it. I started on
command
Tekken.
List.
Yeah, I started at Tekken 4. That was my first entry. And that was my last entry. But I started at Tekken 4.
That's a weird starting point.
Yeah, I'm told. So I'm told. Basically, all I learned is I'm not going to do any combos that are more than 3 hits, or if I do one that's more than 3 hits, I need to end it with one of those shorthand moves that knock somebody down or away from me. And if I'm lucky, their body will somehow float up even in an illogical way, and I can hit their ankles and it somehow makes them pop up in the air again. Like, I'm just like, so this was a glitch feature that was never actually supposed to be put into the game. But since the creator liked the exploit, fuck it, I'll keep it. I'm like, do you not care that you need new people? Do you not care about common sense, motherfucker? And ever since then, I've never regretted it. People have got me to play 5, 6, and not 7, but guess what? I didn't buy it. I played at a friend's house, and nothing changed. The command list changed. That was it.
You want to know something really weird?
What?
Now, back to Guilty Gear. Now, the Xrd series has this really ironic thing with its tutorials. Like, at least in Revelator, the tutorial plays like a mini game. Like, they teach you all the mechanics and shit.
By
but
the
it's
way,
done
one
like
of the best
mini-games.
tutorials.
But, here's the crazier part. When you're done with all that, they break down characters to where you learn the
How to fight
character's best move, like each character's best move, each character's best setups, match-up information. Like, they tell you matchups in that game. And what in terms of like breaking that shit down to players, there's new players that'll come in, see all that shit, and be like, "Oh no, that's too much. I can't deal with that," and get scared. So it's like some people want more information, but then they get it, and they're like, "Oh, that's oh no, TLDR." Like, what do you think of that?
That's called ADD. There's no nicer name for it. That's just ADD. Because first off, that information isn't forced upon you. It's optional information. It's like when I see people who play fighting games and they're button mashers, like, bro, you know, I can't stop you from being a button masher. I'm going to fuck you up every chance. But you could at least look at the command list so you can at least see what your character can do. So you don't whiff shit. Nah, that shit don't matter. They don't design these things to where that shit matter. Like, so why the fuck did they put it in the game? Then I realized I'm talking to someone who believes button mashing is how you play a fighting game. So I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. But, hey, I'm going to beat you, so, okay.
When it came to Street Fighter 5, actually Street Fighter 4, I was a button masher. Then I realized, this is absolutely not a way to win matches. Absolutely not.
Yeah, because anybody who knows what you're going to do is going to do just that. They're going to win.
It would be so obvious trying to mash a DP when everybody in their mama would see, oh, you trying to do a DP? Okay, I'll just block.
And then punish.
Yay, in here. Come back down. Get this
Yeah, on that point, something really funny to do
What's up?
is like watch replays of like Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5 matches and turn on the input history, and you can see the motherfuckers just trying to mash out DPs and stuff. It's just raining arrows on the side of the screen. It's fucking hilarious.
Oh, what a feeling.
Okay. So I guess that just leaves me. Did I go?
No, you have to go.
Okay, cool. All right. I'm going to just be blunt with this shit. They should do it. I just don't want them to fuck it up, and it's a 50-50 shot. Yes, they have increased their reach in the Americas, but that's really only because of Dragon Ball, aka Namco Bandai. That's it. Yeah, they opened up an office, finally. But that don't mean shit. Listen. And y'all can quote me on this. If your job for your entire life is to fix bikes, you know how to build them from scratch, and you can repair any issue with them short of the bike being totally annihilated. What the fuck you look like moving into a different state and trying to fix cars from scratch? Blind. It's just not gonna happen. It's not gonna fucking happen. So if Guilty Gear, the people who's eat shit, sleep, and breathe fighting games, have not made a fighting game that wasn't extremely technical and have been trying to downgrade the complexity level since basically 2000, I want to say 6 or 7, when they first went into production on Blaze Blue, and have failed at it, or they hit a point that they don't think they should go past or go beyond, there's a fucking problem. It's not even fan feedback at that point. It's just arrogance and stupidity. And I hate saying that because I feel like the people at Guilty Gear are nice people when they're not trying to make pedophilic relationships and shoehorn that in my fucking face in the middle of a fighting game. Let's stop and think about that shit for a second. The big draw to Blaze Blue, originally, if y'all even remember this, besides the fact that they actually put effort into advertising and showing people this game with a PR team, was that you had two styles of play. You had traditional fighting, and you had your ability style, which is your drive. You could play drive heavy with some characters, or you could play normal attack heavy, or you could mix and match, hybridize. I like to hybridize. So, I don't want people reading me. Doesn't matter how good or bad you are. If you can get red, then you can get dead. That's the way I look at it.
That's real talk.
Yeah. And they got really close to it. If you bought the limited edition of Blaze Blue, it gave you a fucking instruction manual, and it gave you a combo tutorial video and actually explained shit about the characters.
Yeah, and they kept that going with later games. So, I mean,
Nah.
they at least have that going.
Nah, they stopped that. That was the problem.
No,
They stopped.
Central Fiction does it. I
Which
don't know if Chrono Phantasma did it because I didn't play that one, but
it
Central
doesn't.
Fiction does have
It
an
doesn't.
in-depth tutorial.
So what they did? No, I don't. No. I said a fucking separate video.
Oh yeah, no, not a video.
Yeah, it came in a bigger box too. So what they started doing was they started having a tutorial for each individual character, explaining the character's special ability, how it works, how best to utilize it. See, normally that sounds like a good idea. That sounds like smart shit, right? And I'm gonna tell you exactly where they fucked up. Even after balancing and patching, the drives almost have their own tier list. So it doesn't matter how good you are or bad you are with the character, or how simple the ease of use drive is with the character, or complex it may or may not be. If the drive is superior, then it's like you're fighting a whole nother character. So you got 2-on-1. Biggest example, Makoto, the weird boxing ninja. This girl has substitutions. She's a rushdown character and she's a boxer. And she has a counter where she can literally just nullify almost 80 to 90% of the game's moves and then instantly get a free use of her drive button, which is basically a falcon punch that carries her across the screen. It can also be utilized in there and in an uppercut format. And also with her super. So she has scaling damage depending on how good you are at just, reading button press, reading your own super meter. Because she had 2 of them. Now, what happens when I pair her up against V13? Before you say anything, for those of you who don't know, V13 or New 13 is a character who uses long-range projectiles that come out with 1 button press, and they can be comboed into one each other. They're energy blades. Not to mention, she can also manipulate the game's gravity for a character temporarily as a projectile. And she even has projectiles that can start from behind the opponent. All these projectiles, again, besides taking 1 button press, come out in less than 2 seconds. Now you go up against Makoto, again, close range, rush down character, knows how to do nothing but boxing. 1 projectile, and she can't even launch it right. She got literally the latest projectile I've ever seen in a fighting game. She has to manifest it directly in front of her, then she has to punch it just to get it to go somewhere. What do you think is the most common matchup in that situation? Right?
Long range, keep them out.
Exactly. So that means that as a Makoto, you are already at a disadvantage before you even the fight even starts. You at a fucking disadvantage.
Yeah, your only hope is that whoever's using New 13
is a fuck
doesn't
up.
really know how to use New 13.
Exactly. Because no matter how professional grade or MLG you might be, there comes a point where skill doesn't do anything because they didn't design it to do anything. They gave a character a clear-cut advantage. I could understand if they kept New as a boss character like they did in the first game and you couldn't play her online. But no, she was instantly downgraded in every title after that. What the fuck you gonna do? You gonna get your ass beat. That's what you gonna do. You gonna catch that work. And the hilarious part, they may never even fucking press light, middle, or hard attack buttons unless they're doing a super. Because all of her good shit, her long range shit, drive button. It's like Dynasty Warriors. You want to kill somebody? Triangle. You want to heal somebody? Triangle. You want to win that game? Triangle. Ironically, drive button is placed in the same place in Blaze Blue.
Alright, I've kind of got to get going soon. Were there any other topics?
No, that was pretty much it.
Alright.
So yeah, fucking real talk. That was just the biggest level of fuckery that I never actually understood. You're trying to simplify things, but you're making it complex while you're simplifying. And then the story's completely fucked and makes no damn sense in half the game. You gotta play the last game for everything in the first and second game to make sense. And then to top it off, it's Japan. So they don't count individual numbers. Game 1, 2, 3. There's 1, 1.5 with a little bit extra story. There's 2.5. Because 2 wasn't released outside of the arcade. So when you got to 2, naturally, it already had extra shit. Then there was 3. Thank God there's not going to be some extra version of 3. But they put in DLC characters. So take it how you will.
Oh no, you're right. I mean, look at the Street Fighter storyline.
I try not to.
Yeah, because it's like Street Fighter 1, and then Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and then Alpha 2. 1 doesn't count. Alpha 3, and then
4
Street Fighter 4
is its
Ultra
own
Street
history.
Fighter 4, then Street Fighter 5, then Street Fighter 3 Second Impact Giant Attack, then Third Strike Street Fighter 3 Fight for the Future.
It was actually called Giant Attack?
Yep.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that either. I never played it.
Yeah, it's Street Fighter 3 New Generation, Street Fighter 3 Second Impact Giant Attack, and then Third Strike Street Fighter 3 Fight for the Future.
I feel like they couldn't get the licensing to say Shack Attack.
Yeah, Giant Attack, because of Hugo.
Why would you even try to market him? Like, Hugo is just so...
Final Fight.
No. Dude, no. This is like 2002 or 1 when this shit coming out. Anybody thinking about Final Fight?
Well, that's where you came from.
That was
ain't got
earlier
shit to
than
do with
that.
it. I'm just saying, they said initially what they want to do with Third Strike is start with a brand new cast with, say, for like 2 people, Ryu and Ken at the time. Or I think
No,
Ryu,
Ryu and Ken weren't
Chun-Li.
even in the original.
Yeah.
Chun-Li.
But no one wanted to
they
fuck
weren't
with
supposed
it.
to be in the original, but
Like,
fans
legit,
bitched.
nobody wanted to fuck with it. So then they get to the second game, which kind of starts fixing that. But then my question is, why the fuck would you advertise Hugo in the goddamn subtitle? Nobody came for Hugo. I've always found that weird. Nobody came for Hugo, so why the fuck is Giant Attack even listed here? Like,
I don't know, man.
could you not say Shack Attack?
Yeah, because it brought in Hugo, which actually gave him a first name because in Final Fight he was just Andore. But it was him, Urien, and Akuma. It brought in Akuma, and it's also the only Street Fighter 3 to have Shin Akuma.
So he's not in Third Strike?
Nope. It's just Akuma's final form.
Why what's the point of taking it out?
Because Akuma reached his true strength in Third Strike, so he doesn't need to be Shin anymore.
Wait, is that actual canon or are you just guessing?
No, that's canon.
That makes no sense. I feel like they didn't have enough time to code Shin Akuma into the game and balance him, so they left him out. Because first off, if you've reached your true strength and you got everything straight, motherfucker, all you got to do is maintain that form. It's like when Goku came out the room of spirit and time. He was Super Saiyan naturally.
To that point, now think back to Street Fighter 4. Oni.
That's different.
Why did Oni happen if that happened before Street Fighter 3?
I'll tell you exactly why it happened. Oni happened
because we need a new character.
No, because logic and reasoning went out the door with Street Fighter and everyone's working on feelings. It's
That's
fuck
right.
it, does it feel good to me? Oni should not exist.
Shouldn't. Really shouldn't.
If anything, Oni should have been a new secret attack that Akuma does where he transforms.
Dre's right.
And then, leave it as a gauge that goes away naturally.
You're right too.
Like, and then to top it off, there's no canon for him. There's no proper explanation for him. Oh, this is Akuma when he becomes a true full demon. Bitch, you already said that he does that in Third Strike, which comes after Street Fighter 4. So what the fuck is this? They have no way of properly explaining that.
Not to question it too much, as I don't believe they put a whole lot of thought into it.
That's exactly what we're saying.
Going back to one of the earlier topics.
That's exactly what we're saying. They didn't put forth genuine fucking effort.
Well, clearly they should have.
Well, here's the other thing. Now, what Zach was saying about the history of Street Fighter 3, like, yeah, it was new generation. It was supposed to be a bunch of brand new characters. When they were making the game, Ryu and Ken weren't even supposed to be in it. Fans heard about that, got pissed off, so Ryu and Ken were added. Alex was supposed to be the new hero. Now,
yeah, because they actually liked him, which is weird because Alex looks like one of the most boring characters to have be your main character. They didn't even draw. He's drawn like a fucking machine. Like, he doesn't look like a human being. And also, first off, Street Fighter's main character was always rooted in Japanese lore and shit. So why the fuck you basing this dude off of Hulk Hogan?
Well, here's the other. Well, I was getting to that, but the other weird thing is, like, when Ryu was established in the first Street Fighter, he wasn't what we know him as now. He was just the guy you play as. Like, when Street Fighter 2 came out, internally, Capcom had the idea that Ryu was kind of like Ken. He had a lot of money, he was able to travel, and he, did martial arts things. But the fans just had this idea in their head that Ryu was like, I gotta fight for strength and find myself as a true fighter, and that's why he is what he is now. But the other thing is, back to Street Fighter 3, all the new characters turned a lot of people off because Street Fighter 2 was around for so long, and everybody liked those characters. So everybody's like, where's Zangief? Where's Chun-Li? Where's Ihan? Where's blah, 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 blah? And, I mean, Capcom kept going with Street Fighter 3 anyways. They brought in Hugo and all that shit. And then, in Third Strike, Chun-Li came back because the fans bitched. She wasn't supposed to come back. Her story was done. There is no reason for Chun-Li to be around anymore. But
yes, it is. She's a police officer.
Right. Also,
but
because
still, she should kind of sort of have a desk job at this point. If you go by Street Fighter Third Strike, just chronological, Chun-Li is like 48.
No, she's 50.
Yeah,
she's 50 this year.
No, I'm talking about Third Strike when Third Strike was supposed to have happened. Remember,
Third
Strike?
She's supposed to be old there too, but like in real time, she's 50.
Yeah.
but the thing is like, because of the fan blowback for the Street Fighter 3 roster, like all of it, all of Street Fighter 3. That's why when Street Fighter 4 came out, they were like, no, we're going to go backwards in the timeline so we can justify bringing back all these old motherfuckers because everybody misses Blanca, everybody misses E Honda. But then ironically, they start bringing out the Street Fighter 3 characters in Street Fighter 4, and people are like, yay, Dudley! Y'all weren't saying that shit in Street Fighter 3.
Well, that's because he wasn't missed. There was no way to miss somebody when the most recent iteration had him already. That's how it is for Smash Brothers too. I'm telling you right now, somebody's going to shit a brick over the Ice Climbers coming back, who weren't even supposed to be gone. The Ice Climbers.
Oh, so my old roommate, because he wanted Ice Climbers back.
Oh my god. Well, don't tell him. But yeah, Ice Climbers. They're bringing nothing back. Yeah. I don't even have a joke there or anything like. They're like Captain Falcon at this point. New people don't know where the fuck they come from. All of us old school people know where the fuck they come from. But
very true.
Nintendo wants to be a dick and not give us more characters from their franchise. Ice Climbers, I can understand. Because you fucked up, and since you made them tandem, there goes your chance of having two characters. F-Zero, they ain't got a choice. In fact, they should enjoy it more because it's a character that they can make from scratch. That never happens. Nothing in F-Zero implied Captain Falcon was pyrokinetic. Nothing.
Nothing. It was a tech demo for the Super Nintendo.
And then here's my favorite part. If you actually go through his custom moves, he becomes electrokinetic. If you actually get him the alternate moves, he becomes electrokinetic. what the
But
fuck?
they're just toys.
And I'm just sitting up here
Remember?
like,
They're just toys.
why is he the only representative? And then look what they did in fucking Brawl. Assist trophies. Oh, let's put in another F-Zero character. Motherfucker. Golden opportunity missed. Golden opportunity.
Not to mention a few Fire Emblem characters, just assist trophies.
Smash is the reason we have Fire Emblem.
You know what? I want to contest it, but
You
I'm
know
not.
I'm right. You know I'm right. What
No, I
happened
don't.
when we got Melee?
Shut up. Shut
Who
up.
the fuck is Martha Roy?
Fuck you. We can agree to that. We can agree to fuck you. Anyway.
And we still don't have Roy's game. That's the funnier part.
Because you're not the principal, see?
You just really want your ass. You know what? I'm gonna start recording how many times I whoop your ass in Dragon Ball Fighters.
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because I'll put that shit in a podcast, preserve it on YouTube, motherfucker. Vegeta loving ass, bitch. Anyways, okay. Let's see. Officer closing statements.
Well, obviously, fuck Konami. But also, have
14 inch or
Easter?
16 inch.
Yep, happy Easter. And fuck Konami.
Fuck, when is Easter?
Next week. Easter's April Fools.
I'm not sure I believe you just because you said that.
No, I'm dead serious.
No, well, my whole point is that
Right.
this shit is hard for me to figure out because I'm a Walgreens guy. So what happens every single fucking holiday? There's an entire aisle devoted to everything that goes with that holiday. Candy, food, all this other shit. But here's my problem. How the fuck am I supposed to know when the holiday is if you got signs up saying Happy Easter, come celebrate Easter, and then Easter's like 3 weeks later?
Google it.
That's true. But if I think it's already that day, Walgreens and fucked me. I can't remember. I think it was President's Day. I completely lost track of when President's Day was because I got lost in the advertisement ether. I kept seeing car President's Day sale, discount hamburger President's Day sale, Walgreens selling flags and paper plates and like backyard shit. I'm like, motherfucker, is the 4th of July coming? Ironically, we didn't get our dependence on fucking July 4th anyway. Weird. Then I learned this because somebody decided they want to accelerate, getting all this shit out that has to do with these holidays independently. So because of that, every single Walgreens has to completely remove an entire aisle and restructure it for the next holiday after that holiday's month or week ends.
But we didn't have Memorial Day.
Memorial Day was never one of those days because it's a day off work, so no one's going to be trying to go and buy shit at Walgreens.
Yep.
Anybody remember when Walgreens used to be able to fucking sell fireworks? Or used to sell fireworks?
Nah.
I remember way back in the day,
Good times, goddammit. Good times.
Also, stop making me feel old.
3640 divided by 2. Yes, because it's my fault that you're not one of these little weeboo childs who can't function logically in society because you missed their generation by 4 years. You should be thankful you're old. You should be thankful you feel old. Because I'm going to ask you right now, you, Nye, and Riot have seen the exact same type of crazy people. Do you really want to be Dave Cat? Okay, so $8.20.
I suppose you're right.
8.18. Sorry. You can't take 2 colors.
Oh well. Alright, gents.
Okay, with that being said, this brings another episode of Token Games Podcast to a close. I will see you guys when I see you guys. Unless you're DeAndre, then I'm going to see you get your ass beat because you picked Vegeta, the bitch of all Saiyans, especially when Broly shows up.